Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Oneill original series of wetsuits for 2017 into winter 2018, so for fall 2017. The Oneill original is a newcomer to the wetsuit range, but essentially it takes over from the Oneill Super Freak. So for those of you that are familiar with the Super Freak, it is a very similar wetsuit, just a few tweaks here and there. But essentially they were having a few issues with the name Super Freak, and sort of using it in legalities, that kind of thing, so they decided to just go with the original, give it a bit of a tweak and re-release it for this fall. So the Oneill original comes in terms of the wetsuit range just above the Epic, and it's the cheapest of the winter chest zip range, so chest zip across the chest there. And it's a really fantastic wetsuit this year for the money. And definitely a strong recommendation for anyone that's looking for a sort of mid-range wetsuit, not going to break the bank, but it's going to keep them really, really warm and stay really flexible. So, what are the features for this year? Well, number one, the first thing that's worth mentioning is that we do this suit in a few different weights. We've got it in the 4.3 and the 5.4. The 5.4 basically is ideal for UK winters for really cold water, so 5mm on the lower body, and then you've got 4mm on the upper body, around the top, around the shoulders, to give you a bit more flexibility. And obviously a 4.3 is great for sort of more southern continental Europe, or for autumn or spring. The original is available in men's, kids, and also in ladies as well, so the original is available. And it's pretty much the same wetsuit across the board, but obviously just cut slightly different for the different genders, and for kids it's a little bit slimmer. So 5.4, this is the 5.4 suit, so you'd expect the 5mm neoprene to come right up until under the arms, then they'll switch into the 4 to give you a bit more flexibility. The neoprene itself is 100% Ultra Flex, which is the really, really super stretchy neoprene. Feels even more flexible this year, so loads of stretch and movement in that. And the jersey over the top, the actual lycra, feels really smooth this year, so very soft to the touch, go on nice and easy and feel good against your skin. Okay, so that's the Ultra Flex the whole way through. Good panelling on the suit, so minimal seams running through the suit. Any seams that are on the suit are strategically placed, like over the shoulder, no seams under the arm or around the bum, just to make sure that you've got loads of flexibility and you're not restricted by any thread or any seams. Any seams that you do have are obviously fully sealed to keep the cold water out, so typically done with glued and blind stitching. They'll stitch the suit halfway through, and the other side they'll glue it, and then they'll tape it in critical areas like the wrist, around the chest zip, that kind of thing. I'll turn it inside out so you can look at that in a second, just to reinforce it basically. So for a suit around just under £200, then it's a lot of technology. It's really good. Further down the suit, you've got the Duraflex knee pads, which is just a really hard weight wearing material on the knees. Just stops the suit wearing through on the knees, and so you get a longer shelf life out of it. And typically with the suit you get a little key loop there as well, just so you can keep non-electronic keys in your suit with you, so that's always handy. You get the smooth skin panel on the chest, and that's just basically a sort of typical neoprene they use in all the old windsurfing suits, that kind of thing, and even in swimming suits. It's very non-absorbent. It's also really good at keeping wind out of the suit, so when you're sat on your board, windsurfing, kite surfing, anything like that, just keeps that wind chill off of your core area where all your organs are and all your blood is. So it's a nice feature to have. This particular suit is all about the chest zip, so it's a fuse entry system. Basically that means that you've got to get in through the top. It's quite straightforward though. If you haven't already tried doing this, I'll just sort of run you through it. Now, last year's one they had an exposed zip, which looked kind of cool, but it was really just for aesthetics. Now they've got that neoprene flap that goes over the top. It's not really going to do anything, but it just kind of looks nice. Okay, so you open up the chest zip this way, just across the front here. It's locked down on this side to make sure it keeps a maximum amount of water out of the suit. And basically you've got the little tab here just to clip it down, and then you've got a toggle to pull it tight. It's a specially treated zip to make sure it doesn't leak water through, and the zip itself is obviously nice and robust, doesn't corrode up with salt, so it should last you quite a few years. The actual chest piece itself then, the fuse entry system, is sewn over the top of the wetsuit itself, so you can see that it's sewn over the top. So you pull it over like that, and then that's the actual wetsuit inside, and it's sort of panelled at the back here so you can open it up nice and wide. Okay, so essentially you're getting in through there. The reason they do that is any water that comes in through the neck, instead of going into the suit, it goes into the chest panel, and then here you've got a little drain hole, so that you can see that, and that just lets water out. And you also have one on the sleeve, which lets water out of the chest entry system as well. It comes over the top, and then essentially you're getting in through the top here. Now, one thing that's worth mentioning, on the inside of the collar, You get a smooth skin panel there as well, just feels good against the skin, creates a better seal and stops water flushing through. Chest zips, because they are unbroken and they create a sort of unbroken seal around your neck, are typically a bit better at keeping water out of the suit. And they're also good because you don't have the zip running down the back of the suit. That gives you unrestricted movement through the back of the wetsuit, so that's the benefit. The downside is obviously they are quite a lot harder to get in and out of than a back zip. If I turn the suit inside out, then you can kind of see what's going on the inside of the wetsuit. This is the kids one, but this is fundamentally the biggest difference with the original series for this year over the Super Freak, and it's the lining on the inside. And a lot of wetsuits, or different manufacturers, will be selling different versions of this, and you'll notice it on the winter wetsuits for this coming winter. And it's called the Thermo carbon lining, so you use this carbon material on the inside of the suit. On the original, you get that front and back, and basically what it is, just sort of a carbon material that's really good at retaining heat. And so essentially when heat is leaving your body, rather than it being lost through the neoprene quite quickly, or however quickly it gets lost, this sort of carbon lining will just reflect it back into your body and keep that heat inside the suit for longer and keep you nice and warm. They use strips of it, so basically that the water can run out of the chest panel and it doesn't retain too much water. And that's on the front and the back. So essentially it's like thermal underwear, but with this new carbon material that's very non-absorbent and good at keeping heat inside the suit. You can see all the different sort of like areas of taping as well throughout the suit. That's pretty much through the whole wetsuit, apart from just around the parts of the arms. But yeah, pretty much the whole suit is taped as well, which you didn't get previously on the Super Freak. So fundamentally the biggest difference between the original and the Super Freak is that lining. A little bit of flap of neoprene coming over the top now with the chest entry, but also you get the taping inside as well. So really, really good wetsuit for the money. And if you're into a chest entry wetsuit, you don't want to spend too much money, whether you're a lady, for your kids, or for men, it's a really good wetsuit to go for.